this week's drive, we take to the sky in Cyprus, kiss the grits down under, open up and let the sunshine in, and put the sun to work. All this and more in this week's Drive. We start this week with a sneak preview ahead of the launch of the new Volvo C70, which is both a convertible and a coupe, thanks to a very clever three-part folding steel roof.
First, we would like to create a nice, good-looking convertible together with a sporty coupe, with still possibility to go 4 adults in comfort. Then, to store this roof into the trunk area, with still good proportions of the car, we had to split it in 3 pieces, which actually is the first on the market.
To build a convertible that, at the touch of a button, converts into a coupe is no simple task. In addition, the C70 has to meet the requirements of Volvo's reputation for safety. The car has, for example, unique side airbags that come up out of the doors should a collision occur.
Of course, this car fulfills the same safety requirements as all other Volvo cars, but the unique thing for a convertible is that we have door-mounted inflatable curtains that pops up from the door instead of from the roof. And then we have the very strong windshield frame and the rollover bars sitting behind the rear seat coming up in a rollover accident.
The new convertible is roughly the same size as its predecessor, based on the new S40 platform, itself shared with some Mazda and Ford models. Development and manufacture of the car has been done in collaboration with the famous Italian styling and design house, Pininfarina.
This was a unique occasion for us to get involved into such an exciting new project with Volvo, and we decided together with our friend in VCC to establish a new company, 60% Pininfarina and 40% Volvo, whose purpose is to manufacture this new exciting car. Well, we are very proud so far at the result. Then for sure the customer will have the last word, but so far we are very, very pleased of the technical contents of the car and the final quality result of it. So I think that is a fantastic merge between Volvo experience and Volvo quality standard, especially on safety, and our experience in craftsmanship that we developed in so many years in Pininfarina.
The body structure, a carefully designed network of beams, not only contributes to the car's high safety standards, but also gives the body extremely high torsional rigidity, twice that of the previous C70 convertible. With the roof up, torsional stiffness is increased by an additional 10 to 15% over the convertible. It makes the car more stable and easier to control. It also makes it more dynamic and fun to drive. As for engines, the new C70 will be launched early in 2006 with the marque's traditional 5-cylinder naturally aspirated engines, 140 and 170 horsepower 2.4 litres, and a powerful 220 horsepower 2.5-litre turbo engine. 180 horsepower 5-cylinder 2.5 litre diesel engine will join the lineup later on in the year. The first generation C70 convertible had its best year in 2004 with just over 8,000 cars sold globally. Volvo believes the coupe convertible will be a highly sought-after combination and expect to more than double sales compared with the first generation C70. Like its predecessor, the car will be built in Uddevalla in Sweden. Along the same sort of theme, but much smaller, is the Nissan Micra C+C. With the new model, Nissan is ready to open the latest chapter in the Micra story. Thanks to its clever folding roof, the Micra C+C allows owners the best of both worlds: fresh air when the weather allows, and hardtop protection when it doesn't. But Micra C+C introduces another ingredient to the mix, one that's unique in its class. The roof is all glass, so the elements can be enjoyed even in the depths of winter. Undeniably elegant, the Micra C+C is lower and longer than the hatchback Micra. The roofline, dictated by the steeply raked windscreen, is 110mm lower than on the conventional car. While Micra C+C is 90mm longer overall, the extra length is all to the rear of the car, where it provides the extra room needed to stow the hardtop behind the rear seats. The C+C is nominally a four-seater, although the two rear seats really are tiny. It's best to treat it as transport for two that could fit someone else in an emergency. The C+C is powered by a 1.4 and a new 1.6-litre petrol engine, which is also used in the new Micra 1600 SR. Customer deliveries for the C+C Micra begin in Europe in November, and prices start from €19,400. The hardtop itself is a work of art. With a one-touch operation and automatic latching and unlatching, it takes just 22 seconds to fold clamshell style beneath the double-hinged boot lid. With the roof folded, luggage space is a class-leading 225 litres, and that grows to 457 litres when the roof is up. More practical and more affordable is Nissan's Note. A year on from the presentation of the concept comes the production version of Nissan's new Mini MPV. Conceived and designed in Tokyo at their in-house concept studio Creative Box, the Note is almost identical to the concept car shown at the 2004 Paris Motor Show. The Note is a roomy five-door hatchback that combines innovative styling and practicality with a strong sporting flavour. It's aimed at parents who have a need for a car to match their busy lives but who don't want to stop having fun behind the wheel. It'll appeal to buyers who have always considered design as an important priority when they're shopping for a car. It's a sister model to the Renault Modus and has already gone on sale in Japan. It's built on a stretched version of the Micra or Clio platform, and it's a roomy five-seater with a sliding, folding rear bench. Inside, there's a vast amount of space thanks to the wheelbase of 2,600mm, longer than that of a Volkswagen Golf, and the space can be maximised thanks to folding rear seats. There'll be four engine options, two 1.5-litre diesels developing 50 and 63 kilowatts, a 1.4-litre 65 kilowatt petrol unit, and a new 1.6-litre 81 kilowatt petrol engine found in the new Micra 160 SR and the C+C. Customer deliveries for the Note will begin in Europe in spring 2006, although it's already on sale at home in Japan. Models for Europe will be built at Nissan's factory at Sunderland in England. Kansas City was the scene of the fourth race in NASCAR's final series, the Chase for the Cup. Matt Kenseth started on pole position, his second of the season. The race was relatively low on crashes. The lone multi-car affair happened on lap 17 when Dale Earnhardt clipped Brandon Ash. Ash's car turned and slid up into Ryan Newman's car before heading into the wall. Despite the thick smoke, most drivers were able to avoid each other.
Pile in here, and Jarrett, what a great job he does. Look at Ryan Newman just make contact with that left front fender.
Boris Said spun on lap 120 but managed to avoid making contact with anything solid or any other car. Under the resulting caution flag, the pack headed for the pits. Mark Martin stopped for just 2 tyres and took the lead for the first time. But he wound up leading 3 times for a total of 139 laps. Martin cruised all the way to the checkered flag, leading teammates Greg Biffle and Carl Edwards to the finish line. With the win, Martin jumped from 9th to 7th in the standings, 113 points behind Stewart with 6 races left in the chase. The 46-year-old got his 35th career win a week after an early crash at the Talladega Superspeedway relegated him to 41st place. Tony Stewart finished 4th and extended his chase lead from 4 points to 75. It was Stewart's 15th top 10 finish in the last 16 races. Under clear and sunny skies in San Francisco, thousands of spectators lined the waterfront, while hundreds more watched from boats in the bay as the final race of the 7-event Red Bull Air Race World Series took place. 10 of the world's best aerobatic pilots have been taking part throughout the year in the international competition for racing planes that awarded total prize money of $600,000. During the low-level slalom flight through the 50-foot-high inflatable gates, the planes reached speeds of up to 250 miles an hour, and pilots experienced up to 10 Gs. That's 10 times gravitational force, effectively multiplying their weight by 10 times and placing a huge stress on their bodies. The series began at Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates and then moved on to Rotterdam in the Netherlands, followed by Zeltweg in Austria, Rock of Cashel in the Republic of Ireland, Longleat in the United Kingdom, while the penultimate race took place at Budapest in Hungary. As the series entered its final race, the contest for the title was a battle between former Hungarian World Aerobatic Champion Peter Bessenay and former US Air Force Top Gun pilot Mike Mangold. The American led Bessenay by only 2 points going into race 7. With the fastest time in both runs, Mangold took the top honours in San Francisco, and with it he was able to claim the World Championship 2 days prior to his 50th birthday. Mangold beat countryman Kirby Chambliss by 2.71 seconds and Bessenay by 3.28. It was his 5th win in the 7-event series. Before the race, Mangold had stressed the importance of making 2 clean runs, and he produced some faultless flying over San Francisco Bay, while Chambliss and Bessenay both collected 3 penalty seconds, incurred in the first round for flying too high. In Chambliss' case, it made all the difference, costing him his first win of the season. The victory saw Mangold finish top of the World Series rankings with 36 points, while Bessenay took 2nd place on 32, with Chambliss securing the highly contested 3rd spot with 21.
Well, it's been a long year, a long series, and especially against these other guys, it's just been fantastic. You know, it means a lot just for me to get there, but I also have to congratulate my team, my supporters, the aircraft, the engine builders, all those people helped get me to where I'm at today.
Up there, Mike. Yeah.
Having won in Cyprus for the past 2 years, Qatar's Nasser Al Attiyah must have been confident of adding a 3rd to his tally of wins. Fresh from clinching the Middle East Rally Championship with his 6th straight win of the season at the Rally of Syria last month, he began his defence of his season's 100% record in style. He led from the outset, steering to a comfortable lead over Andreas Tsoloftas before the Cyprus national champion was forced to retire with fuel pump problems. That handed 2nd place to Lebanon's Abdo Faghali, who soon got to within 50 seconds of leader Al Attiyah in the Subaru Impreza. But with Al Attiyah winning the later stages of the day, the gap overnight had extended to 1 minute and 48 seconds. Misfortune struck Faghali in day 2 when the transmission failed on his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo and forced him out after special stage 18. Quick to take up the charge in 2nd place was Chris Thomas. He led the rest of the field, while fellow Cypriot Andreas Peratakos finished 3rd. In what was also his 3rd consecutive win at Troodos, Al Attiyah crossed the finish line a staggering 6 minutes and 27 seconds ahead of 2nd place Thomas of Cyprus. With an unprecedented 7 wins from 7 races, and with the championship title already in the bag, Al Attiyah and his co-driver Chris Patterson destroyed the opposition. His success has also given his car's manufacturer, Subaru, a clear 14-point lead over Mitsubishi. The final rally of the season takes place at the end of November in Dubai. The MotoGP circus moved down under to probably the most picturesque track on the calendar, Phillip Island. Chris Vermeulen enjoyed a comfortable MotoGP debut after making the switch from the Superbike series as stand-in for injured countryman Troy Bayliss. The Australian enjoyed first practice session a lot more than veteran American Kenny Roberts. The former world champ crashed his Suzuki at 200 kilometres an hour, breaking his left wrist. Loris Capirossi also came off his Ducati at high speed on the first turn. The Italian, who's been in sparkling form of late, was ruled out of this and the next round with internal bruising and a bleeding lung. American Nicky Hayden started the MotoGP on pole position for Honda, but beside him was the world champion whose mastery of this track is legendary. Valentino Rossi was aiming for an 11th win of the season, just one less than the record set by Mick Doohan in 1997. Meanwhile, Italy's Max Biaggi, second in the championship heading into the race, crashed on the first lap and was unable to rejoin. No such problems for Valentino. He started second on the grid and fought with Hayden during the middle laps before taking the lead for good on the 18th of the 27 laps. Brazilian Alex Barros crashed on the 23rd lap. Amazingly, he sustained no serious injuries. Rossi went on to win by over a second from Hayden, but the battle for third was much closer. Carlos Checa's Ducati holding off Honda's Marco Melandri by just 17 one-thousandths of a second. For Rossi, it was the Italian's 5th consecutive win at one of his favourite circuits.
Yes, for sure. So 11 victories is fantastic, and always race in this track is different. Is magic. I win a lot of times here, a lot of important race for my careers, and I love this track. Today was tough, and I had a great rival in Nicky that do a great race.
Rossi's runaway points haul continues, but Biaggi's fall on the track matched his fall in the championship, from 2nd to 5th. There are 50 more points on offer to each rider, so the minor placings can go anywhere. Rossi has also claimed the manufacturer's title for Yamaha in their 50th anniversary year. In the 250 race, Australian Casey Stoner took the lead from pole position, but crashed out on the 3rd lap. It was also Stoner's 20th birthday, not the best present he could have wished for. Having won the last 2 races, his retirement offered reigning champion Dani Pedrosa of Spain an unassailable 51-point lead in the title if he won. He nosed ahead of Argentina's Sebastian Porto on the line to win by 0.027 of a second and give Honda their 600th Grand Prix win. Jorge Lorenzo of Spain was 3rd, also on a Honda, but it was Pedrosa who lifted the title for the 2nd year.
Now I'm world champion 250 again, like last year, and I'm very happy. I want to say thank you to my team because they work really hard, and also they need this victory, and well, also to all the people around me in home.
Pedrosa, just 20, is a triple champion, having also won a 125 title. If Jorge Lorenzo can win in Turkey, he will be, at 18.5, the youngest ever winner of a 250 Grand Prix. Pedrosa was 30 days older when he won in South Africa last year. Thomas Luthi regained the lead in the 125 championship with a dominant pole-to-flag win at Phillip Island, where no one, not even title rival Mika Kallio, came close to challenging him. Luthi led by 1.3 seconds on the 3rd lap, but behind him there was a dogfight as 7 riders battled for the 2 podium places. Kallio was 2nd with 2 laps to go, but the group swallowed him up and spat him back to 5th, damaging his title hopes, although not irretrievably. Luthi now leads the overall standings on 224 points, 12 ahead of Mika Kallio of Finland, who finished 5th in Australia, while Gabor Talmaksi of Hungary has 156 points in 3rd. In the Manufacturers' Championship, KTM has 294 points, Honda 269 and Aprilia 260. We stay in Australia but travel thousands of kilometres north for a race of a very different kind. Solar-powered car races have always been a bit of a novelty event, but with petrol prices soaring, this year's World Solar Challenge highlights their serious side. Organisers hope that the race will focus people's attention on alternative fuels. The world's fastest solar cars set off from Darwin on a 4-day dash through the centre of Australia. 21 teams were entered in the annual 3,000-kilometre race to the southern city of Adelaide. These cars have the capacity to travel about 800 kilometres a day at an average speed of more than 90 kilometres an hour.
These are the best solar cars from around the world, bar none. There's other events around the world, but they can't attract the fantastic range of the top cars. This is what's here.
Japan's Ashiya University team was hoping its entry, Sky Ace Tegato, would finish in the top 5. The team was mostly made up of students, including the driver. In fact, nearly all the solar cars have been built by university teams. Here's how they work. Solar panels over the top of the car absorb most of the sunlight that falls on them. Each of the panels contains many solar or photovoltaic cells which convert the sunlight into electricity. That electricity is used to drive the car's electric motor. Excess power is stored in a battery to be used when it's cloudy. The cars are light, streamlined for maximum speed, looking more like high-tech wedges on wheels. Favourite in this year's race is Nuna 3, built by the Dutch Nuon Solar team. They've won the previous 2 races and hold the record. Nuna 3 was first across the start line and took an early lead, but there was still a long way to go. Alice Springs is nearly 1,500 kilometres away, and that's just the halfway point. The cars travelled from 8 AM to 5 PM each day. This is the University of Southern Taiwan's STUT car. It was built by a team from the mechanical engineering department who had no previous experience in solar energy. Support teams have their work cut out keeping their entries on the road. More than 200 students from the University of Michigan worked on the US entry Momentum. Despite the need for a wheel change, the car was just behind the leader, Nuna 3, at the second checkpoint.
Everyone on our team is expecting that we've been preparing long enough that we're glad we're one of the front-running teams right now.
The Persian Gazelle, a solar car from Iran, didn't appear ahead of the race start, and organisers were uncertain of its whereabouts. It would have been the first race entry from the Middle East. There's a long way to go before solar power becomes an efficient and economical way to fuel vehicles, but as the demand on fossil fuel resources increases, research will continue to search for alternative energy sources that may one day replace combustion-engined cars. With petrol prices recently hitting record levels worldwide, this year's event takes on added significance. Flying along at an average speed of more than 100 kilometres an hour, Nuna 3 broke its own world record across Central Australia. In the vast and largely empty Northern Territory, there are no speed limits on the wide-open roads. There's a final pit stop on the road to Adelaide, and a stretch for its driver, who lies flat in a cramped compartment with just his head propped up to see the road ahead. The cars, covered with black solar panels, are rolling saunas for their drivers. Nuna 3 crossed the finish line in 29 hours and 11 minutes, knocking 2 hours off its own world record set in 2003. It also set a new record for distance travelled in a single day.
That's a new record, new day record of 858 kilometers, and the old record was on, I think, 832, so that's great. We have a dream race, it's great.
It was incredible, the weather was bad and the forecasts were bad, and now we're here at the average speed, I think about 110, it was great, it was super!
Nuna 3 was racing the weather as much as the other 19 competitors, but the Dutch team had every confidence in their vehicle.
When we contacted them, they said, oh, look, we don't need the weather. Their reserves of power was such that whatever the weather did in these last few hundred Ks, they were ready to be here at this time. And we said about 2:30, 3 o'clock yesterday, and here we are, 2:45 in the afternoon, and here they are. What a fantastic effort.
The Australian, American and Japanese teams were almost 200 kilometres behind. Nuna team members are from the University of Delft in Holland. It's the third time they've won the race, and they celebrated accordingly. So, whether you're skimming the ground at maximum Gs or heading for the wall with maximum smoke, so you stay on track and up to speed, make sure you catch next week's Drive.